I'm Victor Vincent. I am the reentry expert. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. For most of you who know, ever watched the episode of The Wire, that's kind of the lifestyle I grew up with. I was a heroin dealer, I was a heroin addict, and I spent most of my young life in and out of prison. It was time for me to make a change when the judge offered me 25 years to cop out to a drug charge. He said if I wouldn't, he would hit me with the Career Criminal Act because most of my adult life I had been breaking the law, and he felt as though I was a menace to society and I should never see the streets again. So if I would have got found guilty of that last charge, I'd have received 75 years. I looked at him and said, well, 25, 75, it's all the same. Let's go to trial. And I beat it. And I realized that it was a blessing to walk out of that situation. So I had to change people, places, and things. And a part of my change and my transition, I realized that I had to help people just like me. So I created my own program, the Reentry Expert, to help people chase their dreams. I believe if you can get on a path of chasing your dream, what you love to do, instead of it being a job, it's a career. It's something you can enjoy doing. And that's what I try to do.
When I was incarcerated, I was doing an 8 to 10 year sentence. I had help and I had a support system, but I was incarcerated with a lot of people that did not have a place to go, no support system, but had the desire to change. And so as I'm incarcerated, it was being laid on my heart to help make a difference for those that want to make a difference. And so that's how I come to kickstart to a new beginning.
I wasn't going to have what it takes to accomplish the goal, but what I did was I realized that I can do it. That's the thing that carried me through. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
The most important thing I had to learn was the reality is you are who you are, good, bad, or indifferent, no matter what that looks like. You have to know what that is. And you have to turn all those negatives into positives. It just is what it is. You have gifts and talents and skills that you bring to the workforce that nobody else can bring. And I'm going to make you accountable. And until you are accountable for who you are and where you are in this life, you're going to struggle. But once you come to grips with who you are and what you bring to the table, then you start having some value.
I went to prison with an 8th grade education. I had trouble reading and writing, and I still do. But I started conversing with a school teacher, and he said, "Do you have a degree?" And I thought, I was fluffing my feathers. I dropped out of school in the 8th grade. And this guy impressed with my conversation. He think that I got a degree. But what he didn't think that I had a degree. He started asking another question. I said, no, I don't have a degree. I don't even have a GED. So he said, I don't even want to talk to you no more until you get an education. So that's the day that I felt so small. That was the first day I started being dedicated. And I started going to school, and I got that GED. And then from that, I came home, I got out of prison and walked out the penitentiary and walked into a university and got my bachelor's degree.
I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And I believe that when the door of opportunity opens, no matter what it is, the only bad thing about that is people keep talking me into going into these pyramid schemes. But I'll go in, and as soon as I realize the pyramid scheme, deuces, I'm out. But I believe that if you follow opportunity, eventually a great opportunity will present itself to you.
You got to apply yourself. Put the time in, which means if you got to walk 2 miles down the road to catch the bus, be willing to walk 2 miles down the road. But while you're walking the 2 miles, be putting together a game plan. Let that 2 miles be constructive about planning what you're going to do next in case this don't work.
Anybody in this room, you and you and you, can change your life given the opportunity and time. If you can't find a job, make a job.
That's right.
And once you make that job with consistency, and if you are dedicated and you're consistent, you will be successful. That's a given. And once you are successful, reach back down, grab somebody, and help them up. That's our responsibility to our community.
This initiative, Thrive GSO, is connected to making sure that people who are part of justice-served populations or reentry populations have access to the things that they need in order to do what? Thrive. So for us, it's a four-pronged approach. We want to make sure people have access to voting rights. We want to make sure people have access to education and housing. But what is also equally critical is that people have access to employment. Employment's important. It's really hard to thrive anywhere if you don't have a source of income. But more than employment being about a source of income or resources, it's also about dignity, right? We want to all feel like we are making an effective contribution to the world every day, and that we're compensated for that contribution that we make. And so Thrive, above anything, is about hope.